All right, so today's date is 3/1/21, and we're going to talk about sales tax. Sales tax. The opposite of discount. Everybody loves discounts. Everybody hates sales tax. So sales tax increases the cost of whatever you're buying. Like when you go to the store and they say, okay, the cell phone is, $799, $799, right? You go, okay, I want the cell phone. Cool. You go to the cash register. Now, do they tell you, okay, you owe us $799 exactly? The answer is no. It's always more, right? It's like $850. And you're like, whoa, why did you just add $50 if I only wanted the $799 phone? Well, it's called sales tax. Sales tax, okay? So step one in sales tax is to take the price and multiply it by the percent written as a decimal. Okay, that will give you your sales tax or your tax amount in dollars. Okay, that's your first step. So your first step is exactly the same as your discount. Okay, so the first step is exactly the same as your discount step. Step number two. Step two. You take your price, and instead of subtracting like in discount, you're going to add the tax amount. And this will give you your total cost of your item. So basically your answer to number one is used in step number two. So basically it's the same thing you did for discount, except in step number two, instead of subtracting, you're adding. That is all. That's all. All right, let me pause the notes for a second. So in Santa Ana, the sales tax is 9.25%. And they charge sales tax on everything except food. They don't food that's not cooked. So when you go to the grocery store and you buy cereal, milk, eggs, they don't charge you tax on it. If you go to the store and buy a rotisserie chicken, they'll charge you tax on it. You go to McDonald's, tax. You buy a new skateboard, tax. Pair of pants, tax. A car, tax. Everything is taxed. Some of it goes back to the city. Some of it goes to the state. There are some states that don't have any sales tax. No, because gift cards are like a cash. You just buy $20, you get $20 in gift card. But when you turn around and buy something, if the sticker says $19.99, you don't pay $19.99, right? You pay like $21 because of tax. What do you mean where? Okay, so we're gonna say, let's see, the what are we gonna buy? Let's say the iPhone cost, I did like $799. And the sales tax, we're gonna say it's 9%. Just go easy on ourselves. Okay, so first off, this is where kids make mistakes. Number one mistake kids do is turning this into a decimal. So 9% is what as a decimal? 9% is what number as a decimal? What is
0.09?
0.09. Yep. 0.09. This 0 is completely optional. Not that one. Okay, do not write 0.9. 0.9 is 90%. Unless the roads are paved in gold, there's no reason for you to charge me 90% in tax. All right, so first step. Take $7.99 and multiply it by 0.09. And hello, hi. calculator. Ain't no time to be a wasted. So $7.99 times 0.09. $71.91. That's how much tax you're going to pay. Now, you can all agree with me. That you know people, you yourself, your mom, dad, cousin, friend, you probably all have seen someone with a phone that costs $799, right? Any new iPhone in the last couple years have been over $799, right? So either it was for you or your friend or whatever. 9% is about Santa Ana's rate. So if you ordered it online, anything you order online, they're charging you the Santa Ana percent because you live in Santa Ana. So anything from Amazon that you buy, they're charging you this percent. So this is not far off. You're paying about $72 just in taxes. Let that sit for a second. $72 just in taxes. Step number 2. So you have your $799 phone, and you're going to have to add $71.91 to your phone. So this is how much you have to save in total, right? So if you want to buy your PC that costs like $800, you're going to have to save more than $800 so you can afford to pay the tax. So this is your total cost. So your total cost of your phone is $870.91. Yeah, phones are already expensive enough, right? They're ridiculously expensive. And then you add your tax rate, right? But if you drive over to Costa Mesa, I remind you, Costa Mesa has a 7.75%. So depending on what you buy and how much it costs, it's worth driving to a different city. Right, exactly. Some are way more expensive. And some of you don't have a phone. And guess what? You don't need a phone. You're home. You don't need a phone. All right. Let's say, resume. So the Honda Sport Accord, right, cost $32,110. Now, sales tax. Let's say we don't buy it in Santa Ana and we go somewhere else. We'll go to 8%. Okay? So if I go down to like any other city except Santa Ana, it's all about the looks, Devin. It's all about the looks. I'm just kidding. Depends. Some people will buy a car based on how it looks. And some people will buy a car based on the power and what's inside the hood or underneath the hood. Some will base it on what it looks like. That's okay. All right. Step number 1. You're going to take 32,110 and multiply it by the decimal of 8%. Now, this is again where kids have trouble with. 8% is 0.08. Okay? Then you're going to multiply. Take out my phone. No need to multiply this on paper. You are allowed to use your phone. 32,110 times 0.08. Whoa. Yes, kids, that is a comma. They're going to charge you $2,568.80 just in taxes. And that's at an 8% sales tax. So if you go to a dealership that's Santa Ana, you know that it's going to be a lot more. Then step number 2 is take the cost of the car and add it to how much you will pay in taxes. And then you end up with the total cost of your car. Yes, you can totally buy so much stuff with just this basic tax amount. but we all have to pay sales tax. It's one of those things that, there's no other choice. There are some states that do not have sales tax, which is good if you want to buy some stuff there. I want to say Nevada is one of them. I'm not sure. Or Nevada has a really, really, really low. Who else doesn't get their taxes? I mean, it's life. You know two things about life, taxes and death. So those two things are guaranteed. But where do our taxes go? I mean, there is some benefits to taxes. Part of these taxes, plus the taxes that we pay for property taxes, they go to take care of the parks, make sure that the parks are free. They take care of like roads, like freeways and streets and schools and things like that. So it's a lot of money that we're paying, 100%, no doubt about it. I mean, especially when you look at something so expensive, realize like, wow, that's a lot of money we're spending. But what you don't realize is that this money kind of goes back to ourselves. It pays for people to keep up the roads, cut the trees in the park, the grass, building like schools and things like that. Like, do you guys like your iPad that you're holding? Well, someone had to pay for that, right? If you're using a school iPad, someone had to pay for that. If you're using a school iPad, I know it sucks. Don't tell me it sucks. I know. But at least, I mean, someone did pay for that. So there's a lot of things that the sales tax and other taxes, they come around and we end up benefiting from it. It just sucks when you realize like, man, I got to pay $2,500 just in taxes. Well, that's where they get you. All right, let's do one more. What's a PC cost again? PC cost. What do they cost? How much do we want to spend for PCs again? PC cost. Oh, that's a PlayStation 4. TV. Gaming PC. Oh, with an RTX of 3070 was $249.99.99. $249.99.99. Wow. The government doesn't keep it all, not all of it, but they do keep a chunk of it. But most of it is somewhat given back to the citizens, as in the streets, the lights. I mean, we take a lot of things for granted, right? Firemen, police officers, people who work at the park. What else? Government people, teachers. Hi. Yeah, pay me. Sales tax, judges. Yeah. School lunches, traffic lights. All that is paid by tax. There are firemen that do it they volunteer, but most of them, that's their job. It's a very hard job to get, so they might start off volunteering and then they get hired. It's a really good job to have, though. They do have great benefits. Sales tax, let's do 7%. 7%. So step number 1, take the 2,499.99 and multiply it by your decimal equivalent to 7%, which is 0.07. I don't want you to hate taxes because a lot of things in your world are because of taxes, okay? And taxes are, for the most part, they're good. They help the economy and whatnot. Just if you ever get the chance of voting for higher taxes, don't. So, because you might be voting in a couple of years and there might be, a law that says, would you like to increase your sales tax? Don't. Say no. I mean, of course, read it, but yeah. I know. Can you, right now, as you're learning this as 7th graders, your sales tax right now is 9.25. It's been, when I've been teaching this to my students, because I always show them this chart, it's been as low as like 6% or 7%. So it has increased over the years. Who knows what it's going to be when you guys are like 25. and you guys want to buy a car. Yeah. So, like, it will increase because things like get more expensive, but yeah. 2499.99 times 0.07. Ooh, a nice ugly number. 1749993, which is a good, I don't know if I did this last week with you guys, a good time to talk about rounding. I don't know if I had a round with you guys last week. I don't think so. Okay, when it comes to rounding, you look at the number in the penny slot. We're going to round to the nearest penny. So what does the 9 tell the 9 to do? To go up or stay the same?
Up.
Up. So this becomes a 10, carry the 1. That also becomes a 10, carry the 1. So that becomes a 5, bring down the 7, bring down the 1. So this is called rounding. And I'm sure men, you all should know how to round. Maybe you forgot, maybe you haven't done it in a while. So when you get a funky number like this, round to the pennies, sometimes you have to like change a lot of numbers. Sometimes you just change one number. Depends. All right, step number 2. So 2,499.99 plus 175. 994171562. I did that right. All right. So instead of paying $2,499.99 for your PC, you have to end up paying about $2,674 because you have to pay a sales tax. Sales tax of 7%, which is pretty low. That's about $175 just in taxes. $175 just in tax.